Hi, everybody. Good
Hi.
Sunday morning.
Happy Sunday. Happy March.
Mm-hmm.
First one of the March.
Mm-hmm.
So, CPAC was this weekend. It was
Not
crazy.
that anyone seemed to care.
No, I didn't seem to care. What little clips or tweets I've seen about it is utterly off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
You normalize and deceit and wokeness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just crazy, crazy people. Pegasus back from Mardi Gras. Wonderful. A Hermes metal cup. Through my
A what?
beads as I went through walking the parade dressed as the high priestess of Mardi Gras. Nice.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I like it a lot. Good morning, Mimi. Sweet. Okay. Well, we have two-starred questions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what the heck? Let's start with the right wingers and CPAC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want to know about Mary Ann. Mary Ann Williamson running again. No, she won't win. But I think last time, she woke up a few people. Some people thought she was crazy, of course. Not into her type, but. But I think she brought, you know, love and independence.
Well, she's what you call in races an issues candidate. And well, I tend to align with her issues. If you're a mainstream candidate, they're just sucking oxygen out of the room and not the mainstream candidate won't think they're achieving much, but if they're a good mainstream candidate, they just let them have their issue and see if it works. And um, for her, it does. But and she certainly is aligning with the new movement of the planet. So maybe that's the big surprise.
I also seen Larry Hogan decided he's not going to run. He was tossing the idea.
Oh, who's Larry Hogan?
Ex-governor of Massachusetts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
One of those northern states.
One of them damn Yankees. Okay, that's why I don't know who he is.
But he was a good governor, Republican. He's
Mm-hmm.
anti-Trump, but he decided he's not going to. This is an FYI. Okay, CPAC. According to the pictures, there wasn't many people there.
Had lots of booze selling shit. Let me tell you.
Uh,
What you get? I've already got an answer.
and I got
It was.
dark side of the moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got the moon in reverse. Um, I got the first card I got is this is from the Life is a Game. The Knight of Wands. They're still trying. They're still trying to present something, but they're the messenger acting first and thinking later, which is pretty much some CPAC up. But then the next card is it's reversed. Its moment of glory is over. They're kind of done. It's waning. And it's because the majority realizes that they're not in any kind of organized thing. It's just a bunch of people running around. And there's a whole lot of people who wish they'd become the hermit and go away.
Pretty much, yeah.
But they also have the dark side of the moon. They're on the wrong side of the emotions of the country. So that's.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I got the karmic changes that are
Mm-hmm.
that are leading more to love side.
Right.
The Eight of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune. So the universe is shifting in a point, and then I got the justice card next to the moon. So the dark side of the moon, acting all crazy basically, and more
Mm-hmm.
balance, more balance in life, tipping those scales to where they're supposed to be. So
Right.
more people are kind of noticing this is a little nuts. Don't want to spend that money. And again, it's leaning towards better leadership.
Right.
King of Cups, Ten of Cups, this is about love and caring about people instead of crazy. And then they're have to go away. The money's not flowing in the way it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
The Six of Swords, Page of Coins, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is my United States card,
Mm-hmm.
and the Page of Coins is usually either new money or a new path, new jobs, and then going away,
New
traveling,
values.
changing, reevaluating. Yep. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just people are seeing the writing on the wall and don't want to be associated as a whole. I see they wouldn't let Nick Fuentes in, that racist guy.
But they let the guy who run it, who's up for sexual battery on somebody, you know.
So I also seen another Republican down in, he ran but lost. Where the heck was it? One of those southern states. And guess what he was charged with?
Child abuse.
Child. They didn't say abuse, but child
Pedophilia.
pictures and stuff.
Oh, pornography. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Your normal Republican trait, right?
Right. Well, I had a friend I was talking with yesterday who has kind of a sad history with the Catholic Church. And he wants to know why they're closing drag shows in Tennessee. Why didn't they close down the cathedrals when they found all these priests doing all that stuff? And they were really doing stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, obtaining. I don't understand your question, Brian. Obtaining income through land and property continue. Do you understand that one, Nancy?
There are so many favorable laws to people who develop housing and stuff, you know. It's the stuff Trump did. He had land and he had property so he could defer paying taxes, and there's all kinds of laws, that stuff. And until someone says you bring money in, you pay on that money that year, I don't see why. I mean, their thing is that deferred. Anything where someone says in taxes it's deferred, it means they're going to try to hang out till they never have to pay it.
Okay. Okay. Do you notice there was another train derailment in Springfield,
Yes.
Ohio now?
Yes. And
Jeez. Unbelievable.
and they're three of them are the same company.
Okay. I don't remember. How was... That's just those EPA regulations. They just decided by the government, or there wasn't a law, was it? I'm trying to remember how that was done.
It was done through the executive branches running of an agency that could control it, and for the Congress to come and stop it, they'd have to say, no, we want trains to fall off the tracks.
Okay.
So they never fought it. So it was Obama put them in because we have such a screwed up government. And then one of the first things that Trump did was take them away. And there were something like 2,000 train derailments during his 4-year term. It's a lot of trains not staying on the tracks. I mean, at some point, you would think it would behoove you to fix the tracks or do whatever you need to do. I know
Just what Earth Mama said, you think it'd be better just to maintain and not have all these accidents and have to pay out.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal.
Okay. Trains, planes, and automobiles.
It's like bigger. It's like the bridges. Yeah.
Oh
Maintain.
yeah, he's gonna be pushing for some stuff really quickly. It's moving forward with the chariot, and it has the goodness for everyone in mind with it. The problem is, of course, the evil people who want to keep their money and not spend it on improving the product they're delivering. But he's going to reach that goal, and it's going to be the end of. It's going to. I don't think that anybody's going to touch it for a while, but yeah, I think he's going to reinstate it.
Strange. My card tossing thoughts are little. Hi, Flora. Pink wave hand waving. Sweet. My throw was talking about lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
They want to take the action, but it feels like they're, like you said, it might be a delay or something, but there is the talk and the accumulation of doing something here with that 7 of coins there. But it feels like the protection, they might be talking behind the scenes kind of thing. It's like, fix your shit stuff, right? But I'm getting
Right.
the King of Swords and Page of Swords and the Moon, and then protection card. So it's kind of like they're talking behind the scenes, but not publicly.
Right.
It's kind of like formal thing of saying like, why can't you just fix your stuff instead of going through all these lawsuits and company pressures and stuff with that King of Swords and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So the Moon is like backside stuff, but they do have a plan here. But then I have that 10 of Wands coming in, which makes you feel like there's stress involved. People are exhausted. It's like, I'm getting the notion of like COVID. It's like, why can't you just tell the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Keep people safe. But yeah, it does feel like something's coming in later. But I have the Hermit next to that creation of a new law or new EPA regulations.
Mm-hmm.
So it does feel like the delay, but it feels like it's more on the backside of like, why can't you just do the right thing?
I tell you, I have the funniest feeling that a lot of these places are going to sit up and take notice, and especially the boards of directors and stuff, when it all comes down on Fox. Because if you read the last filings from Dominion, they're going after the board of directors people.
Oh, I missed that one.
Paul Ryan, oh yeah, he's in the crosshairs. They're saying, you knew this was going on. Why didn't you try to stop it? And what they have his statement saying he thinks it's a legitimate news source. Well, then why didn't you try to do something? Yeah. And if they go, see, that's one of the things. And if you read much in business literature, and the only reason I read it is because I did to get a degree in it. But one thing that always shocked me was these guys, to be on the Fox board, you make $500,000 a year just by saying you're on the Fox board. And they meet maybe 4 days a year for half a day. Now that's the job I want,
I know, right?
But they all, in order to, if they accept that money, they accept that they're taking certain kind of fiduciary responsibilities over what's happening. And yeah, there was a bunch of people talking about it at the end of last week. And there's some business professors who are saying it's about time we had a case that brings to light these bought and paid for boards that don't do anything. The day before the horrible train wreck that's poisoned all those people in Ohio, that board was voting on giving the executives and board members a bigger cut and cutting out money that was going into maintenance and stuff.
Good.
Good. And and apparently the only way you're going to get their attention is when you sue their butts off, make their lives uncomfortable, and because apparently doing the right thing is not part of their
I know,
vocabulary.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think we've always gotten it before that Dominions not going to settle. They're going all in with it.
Right.
They're supposedly, they added. They had Rudy and Sidney Powell and others on the list too,
Mm-hmm.
which is always a good thing. Okay. Let's look at Valerie's. Mix it up a little instead of staying one topic. Stock market. Are we gonna? What's the stock market gonna feel like over the next? Let's just say a year or so. It's hard to predict everything, but before the election, okay. Will the stock market have any impact on the election next year?
That's an impact. It's always going to have an effect. Up or down, it's going to have an effect. Do they want negative effect, positive effect? Yep. Oh, they're saying will it go down and impact Biden and the Democrats? Okay.
Yeah. Will it have a negative effect on the Democrat? It feels pretty steady to me. No real huge swings. It may be down a little bit near the election, it feels like, but nothing major. That's what the cards have to say.
Okay.
I think the old way of manipulating the Dow doesn't work anymore. Thank you, Karen. I got slow and steady wins the race.
There's not going to be a huge change. There's going to still be a lot of lying and misinformation going on. That's the Eight of Wands. But overall, it's going to be the Sun, the Ten of Cups. Everybody's going to be kind of feeling good about some things. The Queen of Pentacles, which is good if you're talking about money matters.
Yeah.
And people are going to be feeling happy. They got the Nine of Cups. I mean, the Knight of Cups. So I don't think it's going to be a bad market going in.
Yeah, I got that Queen of Coins too.
Mm-hmm.
I got Six of Swords, calm travels, good times.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Wheel of Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the way the stock market always kind of moves, runs the circle. It always has changes. But then I have that Knight of Coins and Six of Cups along with the Ace of Coins. So there's a lot of coins here. So it feels pretty good. Knight of Coins is slow and steady. Six of Cups has been higher. But it could have changes.
Mm-hmm.
The only bad card I do have mixed in it all is the Five of Coins. So there could be a drop at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else is really good. So that may be the reference where I was seeing a brief drop prior or something happens, But I don't see anything major. Biden's going to land the plane, Earth Mama says.
Biden's going to what?
Land the plane.
Oh, yeah.
2024. It's kind of funny. I see Nikki Haley isn't gaining much traction. It's funny. polling at 3% yet. I think Lauren Boebert had a bigger crowd than Nikki.
Well, that just shows you the minds of the people that are in that place. So,
Is that what you were talking about, the stock, or something else? Because you just see that there's a FEC complaint because Fox and Jared colluded to give
they were giving information on placement of Biden ads and subject
Right.
matters that were in the ads and all that stuff.
Right. And according to some legal scholars, that's campaign finance fraud or something.
Yes.
So, okay. Let's see. What's the outcome here?
Okay.
Is there any legal repercussions for doing this? Are they just going to investigate for 2 years and say, give us a couple 100,000 and we'll call it good?
Well, I'll forget about it. I don't know. The liberals behind Media Matters aren't the sort to do that much. So, I mean, this is pretty. It's like stealing someone's. Well, it's the same stuff as Manafort giving voter information and demographic information to the Russians or to Cambridge Analytica so they could screw with it. Since that was the part of that I ran in campaigns was, figuring out which voters you're targeting and stuff. I understood immediately that's if you gave them the right information, that's deadly. I mean, you can do a whole lot with that. If you're a person sort of sitting there, so they have my name and address, so what? You don't know the kind of files that they keep on people now about preferences and all kinds of stuff, and then they could just target you. Okay, we're doing media complaint. I see that it's going nowhere, mostly because of the fact that the FEC is as it's currently structured is kind of powerless to do much. And although they should move forward with it, this is a chariot reversed here. They're not going to, and they will not issue any kind of judgment on him. So Jared Kushner just hangs out as a cute little empress that he is.
I got no justice either.
Mm-hmm.
There may be in the future some kind of, maybe bumping
They'll
up.
change regulations to tighten it up to more clearly identify that. That's
all it feels like. It's my higher two of swords. It's like decisions looking for evaluating the situation, and then I have the King of Cups along the Queen of Swords, and that's what that feels like, is buttoning up, regulations, and it could
catching them for last year's crime.
Yeah, it's like they always say the FEC is kind of slow and everything, maybe adding more people to the mix. But it just feels like getting the truth out there actually helps more than anything in the wind. But I have no legal type things besides buttoning up the regulations.
Well, look at it from the other side. Maybe Jared will be busted and sitting in jail, and there won't be anything to go after.
That would help. He said, like I've always said,
he looks more like a snake. I used to think Carvel was the closest thing to a human living lizard we'd ever see. And I like Carvel, but he's just look. Jared Kushner to me looks much more like a lizard person. But
Ted Cruz has a podcast. Yeah, they all got podcasts. We're paying them too dang much to have podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
What is it? Is it a travel podcast about Cancun?
Yeah, must be. Okay. Oh, the Russia probe. Molasses is faster. True. Was an FBI agent, Lisa Page, blackmailed into setting up Peter Strzok.
No,
No, I don't think so.
no, I don't think so. I think it was just a stupid office and affair. You don't fish off the company dock. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. And that's what they were doing. So they were just acting out their teenage fantasies as adults. And
But yeah,
I think
I haven't heard much of Lisa, but I enjoy listening to Peter. I listened to his book. It's good.
and he's the one who rounded up all those Russian agents and got them all shipped out at once. And he'd been on Putin's hit list forever to get rid of him. Now, I don't think she was set up. I think they just didn't think very far ahead.
Okay. To hear about the latest chaos in Florida. One of that night MSNBC girl ladies went down to Florida and talked to students at the new college.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So DeSantis is going after them, and that new college is pretty progressive.
Yes.
A lot of LGBTQ people and very open, and it sounds like a wonderful college to be at.
Mm-hmm.
And DeSantis and his cronies are going after him.
Mm-hmm.
So Mary would like to know what's up behind this. Will this all go through to pressure all these teachers and colleges? He's going even more authoritarian.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't see how this can be a winning ticket for him to be president. It'd be so easy pickings in ads and even on stage in debates for the Democrat on him. Yeah, it's like when Biden came down there and talked to him and stuff. He looked like a weak man, just powering. But
he's getting no traction. Apparently, when he leaves his home state, he's getting no traction anywhere. So let's see.
Oh, good note.
I'm going to do a 10 card on this because it's asking who's behind it. I don't think I can do that with 5 cards. I think I can maybe get a clearer idea with 10.
Okay, so DeSantis, academic school. DeSantis. Honestly, I can't believe the federal government isn't stepping in on that man.
Well,
there's got to be federal laws he's going against. Okay.
Okay, this has been a movement that's been in the works for a while, and these guys who are promoting it want to build a strong base. Their problem is that they feel like people are being educated away from their thoughts, which is true if they're being given any kind of a real education. But what they've done is they found a group of people to align themselves with, mostly around DeSantis, that can push this agenda. It's going to work for a while because it's the sun upside down. Sun right side up or upside down for me means things are going to work. And that's the really near future. But what they're afraid of is that people are going to realize how obsessed they are with certain issues And this says that they're not going to reach their goals. It's going to look like they're heading towards their goals to weaken schools, and they're not going to really do it. They're spiritually in the wrong place. They're using their minds in the wrong way, and the schools will be not recognized as schools. And so the outcome is that the schools get to go back to being universities again. Now, many of you are probably way too young to remember, but Richard Nixon had a full-out war on PBS and on any kind of a liberal news things. He was trying to break the PBS station that I was working at the time, break us financially, cut off all kinds of funds, put pressures on the corporations that were giving money to us. And they ended up having a big meeting, big hearing in Washington. And there was a guy named Ralph Rogers who was a millionaire here who thought PBS wasn't a bad idea. So he wrote in, and I have this feeling it's that kind of a thing that they're going to attack these universities and try to tear them apart a little bit. And then somebody else is going to come in who believes more in education, and they're going to make them all look like fools. And that's exactly what happened. And at the same time Nixon was doing that, they were also attacking colleges for the things they were teaching, which was when I was in school, which was anti-war. And I went to a very conservative university because it was here in Texas. But every time they tried to do that, they'd get a certain way, and then people would go, "That's crazy. That makes no sense," and they'd pull it back. So I think these guys are doing the same thing. It's just they found someone in DeSantis. If they can try to break colleges in Florida, all it means is going to mean if you get a degree in Florida, it's going to be worth crap anywhere else. And I've seen that happen to schools in Texas where getting your degree from there wasn't accredited. And putting all that money in it and ending up with a non-accredited degree, just going to have a few student suits go after the people who did that. Unfortunately, it all ends up in the courts because we don't have legislators with the cojones to stop it from happening in the first place. And they certainly don't in Florida.
Yeah, that makes total sense. What you're saying in my throw, they just want to create a dark system.
Mm-hmm.
Magician, Knight of Coins, Queen of Swords.
Yep.
Create their own narrative. Something about moving funding elsewhere too. Because I got dark movement of resources. Dark movement of resources, and then I have like taking away money from institutions that they don't agree with, kind of feeling. Loss of money, different movements, and then their resources again. So it's all, like you just said, it made total sense what you just talked about. Going back to a time that is nuts.
Well, there are rich liberals, and they really need to start putting more of their money where their mouthpieces are instead of to help. But what's unemployment in Wisconsin?
How much?
Yeah, I mean, like what percentage? Just guess.
I can't remember but the max is like 360 a week or something like that. So it's like 30% of your pay or something like that. 66. That's what it is. It's 66% of your pay, a max of like $370 a month.
But what about just the number of people that there are there to be hired to do stuff? Like unemployment in Texas is like 3% or something, and Tesla, is not moving here. They bought a big building, and they're gonna keep their real think tank people in California. They weren't moving, and so Tesla's hiring up techie people here who are now looking sideways at them because they're not going to be working in the company they thought they'd be working at. it's a real fight. Yeah, we need immigrants, and we don't, and and they want to. The Republicans want to. Their Canadians are taking them. They're just leaving the U.S. and going to Canada. So, but we don't. Our unemployment rate is so low that companies have to look at if you have a policy, an anti-gay policy, an anti, all families are families kind of policy. It's going to blow up in their face because people won't come to work there. And I live in a household with the kid in their 30s, and they won't go to. They're here because they're here, but they work for a company that's out of state, and they wouldn't. If they have to leave their job, then they'll go find one with a place that if they had to move, they'd find a place that's much more liberal, much more open to not being against them and their friends. So,
Okay. Laura has a different one. Texas House Bill.
it won't pass. It won't hold up constitutionally.
Okay. Oh, did you see there was news on Mr. Paxton?
That the feds are coming at him from DC instead of in Texas? Yes.
No, there was a whistleblower or aide that was just charged, or he was fined or something. I can't remember the guy's name right now. I thought I screenshot it, but I couldn't find it. Someone associated with this whole mess with him was just either fined heavily or charged, or the judge in the case or something ordered him. Oh, he wasn't paying his fines that are agreed upon. That's what it was.
Oh, one of the Paxton. See, Paxton had some partners in the thing that he keeps avoiding, and they've all been charged and one served some time, and they are paying fines afterwards. Texas is big on making you pay forever.
Yeah,
some people I don't mind. Other people I think it's kind of a crook, but yeah, where Paxton is just a little mini Trump. Wherever he goes, it's just nothing but grief for the people around him. And yeah, they're probably, that may have come out of the federal suit because they may have realized this guy wasn't paying his fines, so they're going after him now, put pressure on him. I can tell you, I'm not going to even lay cards on this one because I've already read legal analysts in Texas, and because gay or straight marriages are marriages, they can't separate them out when they offer a benefit like that, especially if it relates to family. Family is a structure it's one of the reasons they wanted to pass that law to make it equal for everyone, because I remember talking to some gay friends, and there's something like 287 laws that they would have to go appeal each one so that they could get the same rights as a couple that was married. It was just because until they recognized that it's married, and now it's recognized as marriage. So. Good luck to the University of Kansas and getting any students.
Yeah, he's being sued for his Twitter rent space, last I heard.
Who is?
Elon Musk. He hasn't been paying the rent for the Twitter building. Yeah. That's the last I heard. It's been a while. Meanwhile, a whole bunch of more Teslas have been recalled. Supposedly the bolts aren't good enough in the seats. They've been coming loose.
Oh, just what you want to have happen when the car stops suddenly.
Good Lord, what a crap company. I mean, he ain't the one that builds them and even creates them. He just owns the company, right? But still, how can you not have that kind of safety involved? And his Neuralink got denied again. to be implanted in people.
Oh, good.
You know, that chip or whatever. He supposedly killed a bunch of monkeys and trying to make it work.
I wouldn't be the first in line for that. I have enough trouble holding on to what brain cells I have. Thank you very much.
But yeah, I can't remember what federal company, but it's been his patent or whatever got denied again for a third or fourth time. To have it's something to do with experimenting on human people. It got denied experiment because it's not good enough yet. Okay.
Flora, you're up. Is that woman up in the middle of the night that's in Australia watching us?
I can't remember the time frames.
It's 11
It's like-
hours. It's 11 hours from London, so that would make it 5 hours from here. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, it's 16 hours difference, something like that.
Mhm,
About.
mhm. But it's a
16
different day. Because my son used to live in Guam and I used to know all that stuff, but I don't.
So that would be what, 4 in the afternoon
That's not bad.
tomorrow, Monday, something
Yeah.
like that. Okay. How's the panic on Fox? All the deposition stuff comes in out. Andy Pirro, Bartiromo are on the chopping block. Why isn't that Tucker Carlson on that list?
I could say something very petty like you have to have a real body and a real mind to get on the chopping block. And I don't think that man has a body or a soul, but I won't say anything that petty.
Oh, it's 12:12 a.m. in Perth. Wow, I'm way off there.
They're what?
It's 12:12. Flora says it's 12:12 a.m. in Perth.
I was thinking it's the middle of the night. Have you never tried to coordinate with a reader in Australia to set up? Oh, it's like hell. It's like incredible. It's better to deal. I had less trouble with the South African than I did with the Australians.
Ooh, that's 20 hours difference. Well, there is quite a few time zones in Australia.
Oh, I know.
Like, I was thinking New South Wales is like 16.
Mhm.
Anyway, future of Fox News.
Okay, let's see if any of their guys are going to get really cut, or if this is just crap to throw out so we don't talk about how outrageous their thoughts are.
Andy'd probably have a back.
Oh, yeah.
Up. He's got his talk show. So anyway,
Well, they did get rid of Riley, so you never know. Justice is you're going to like this reading.
nice.
It starts with justice. It's breaking their hearts. Boy, do they ever regret writing emails. When will people learn the E in email is for evidence? I mean, just if you don't put it in an email. This is them being severed, moving on, having to go on. And it's because the magician has spoken, the real power. This may be some of the stuff that all the readers are seeing and I'm feeling is that we're going through this enormous change and things are going to shift suddenly. So that would, if with that reading, I think even TC's on the, I think Tucker's on the chopping block too. Unless he's got some really good nude pictures of Murdoch, which
Oh. Dominion's gonna win is what it starts out as. I was hoping to see a Justice 2 to make it easier, but I got to decipher. So yeah, I got the lawsuit here with the 3-4 coins. They're gonna win from the devil of Fox News. So Dominion's gonna win.
Dominion's their first claim is the 1.6, right?
Yeah.
Do we have any idea how much they could garner if they win? The deal about trying to settle out of court is there won't be punitive damages because the court decides that.
Right.
1.6 billion is the baseline. What do you think
Faithfully.
the punitive damages would be?
Mm-hmm. Alex Jones just keeps getting it piled on him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing they're going to have to shift to a better type of company here.
Mm-hmm.
Legacy company. King and Queen of Cups coming in here with your legacy. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
have to shift. And these people that are on here, Hannity, Puro, Bartiromo, they're not of that substance. And they're going to have to be, with the Herm right here, they're going to have some kind of spiritual illumination and change. Then I have the Eight of Swords, Queen of Swords. That's a pretty dark ending for them.
Mm-hmm.
With the Hermit, Eight of Swords, and Queen of Swords. So this legal action is going to hurt them immensely. With that Eight of Swords,
Mm-hmm.
that's my jail card, but you can't jail a company, but that's
But you
10.
can imprison them. You can lock them up so totally they can't move again.
Right. It's also, it's restriction. It's an isolation. It's also like blind actions and tensions within. But the Hermit is all about change, looking within and change. And Queen of Swords is lawyers and better. It can be dark, but it's also good about more educated people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to have to totally change after this. I'm not seeing a chopping block per se right now. It's all telling me now, But yeah, Dominion's going to win. They're going to lose a bunch as far as that goes. We'd have to check on them each because energies can be different for each people, and it always can be general. It's a weird one doing it that way, but they're going to have to go through a huge change. One or way or another.
Maybe they can all go to work for Newsmax and be glad their stock prices went up.
I can't believe that company's even in business. Or OAN.
Well, every year, once a year, I petition my cable company to ditch Fox, but they don't ever listen to me. But,
Yeah,
if enough people,
I'll try that.
that's how Fox got on. Fox, when it first started, it was failing. And then they went to places like where my parents lived, who were conservative Republicans, not like conservative Republicans now. I like to think if my parents had lived, they would not be part of this nut job crew. But Fox came in, and my mom had been a political organizer in Illinois. They found that out. She lived in this high rise in Las Vegas. It's in the middle of the country club. And they got her to whip up all the neighbors to complain because their cable company wasn't including Fox in the package going into that building. And like one of the Jacksons, Janet Jackson, I think, had a unit in that building. I mean, it was not poor people. My parents were not poor people. They weren't living on their Social Security, let me tell you. And my mom went out and got everybody in that building, and then she went around and helped organize in other parts of Las Vegas to require the cable company to carry Fox. And she met Sustron, whatever her name was, that she jumped ship later. But anyway, my mom just said, "Oh, she's such a wonderful person, and you just don't understand." And when I would go visit her, she'd turn Fox News on, and I couldn't believe it. And I'd start trying to use logic. Didn't work much. But my mother said, "Well, I'm very proud of the fact that I helped get Fox News included in every cable package in Las Vegas." And apparently they did that all over the country. And that's how they got themselves on cable in the first place. And that's why they said they weren't a news organization, because it was easier to get around the cable rules at the time. So that's how they did. Okay, Lauren Boebert. Okay, I saw this question earlier. I'm going to see it.
Revenge. I think I'm just gonna. There's no avenging for her. she can just spew lies or whatever.
I don't think she's smart enough to know she was insulted.
She was
Have you ever
very
met
bad.
someone and you can tell them something and you're going, God, you didn't slap me in the face for saying that. This was back in my old mean days. But, you know, but I've met political candidates. I had one guy, I ran 2 candidates against him for City Hall, and he should have lost the first time, but the woman finked out at the end. And then the next person who ran against him was military, an African American who had been in charge of building the infrastructure the first time they went into Afghanistan. Anyway, he was a fascinating person and really a good guy. Everybody liked him. And this guy that we were running against was dumb as a box of rocks, but he had every realtor and land developer in that part of Dallas in his pocket. And every time I ran people against him, I mean, I was their campaign man. He had to know. Every time I would see him at a public meeting after that, he'd run up and hug me like I was his long lost daughter. It amazed people. They're like, what is going on with him? And eventually he left the council. It was kind of sad. He was losing it. And his family said, we're taking Dad out of the public limelight. But I think she's in that category of brain trust. She's just a young one who I've met candidates that were totally manipulated and had to be run by the people who were running them. And they were told everything to say. And if you ask them a real question, they just melt on the floor. And I don't know. Do you want me to see if she's going to even try? Or
I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it differently. I just want to look at her future. There's a lot of stuff in the news about her and her family. Just like, oh my God. Supposedly her son has a baby coming. Her 17-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen in the news or on a Twitter feed that she has not filed a lawsuit about this one Twitter feed bringing all the evidence out about her personal life.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to.
That she was an escort and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She threatened the lawsuit. She never did it. So that must be true then.
Well, or she's not smart enough to do anything about it. Anyway, I already read it, Scott. You want to throw your cards first? You want me to go?
I'm still shuffling because I was talking.
I know.
I was just looking for her future. I don't see any reason.
This is her future. The Wheel of Fortune upside down. She's going to hang in here as long as there's money. The money's about to dry up because they're starting to realize you can't fix stupid. They're okay. We have 2 cats who are deciding to not get along today. We have them there's people are not sure what to do about her, but she's going to have no more support. She's going to be gotten rid of because she's such an easy target to point out all of the stupid. So I don't see a glorious future for her.
No. I've gotten this before with her.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to be indicted for January 6th stuff.
Mm.
The energy towards a tower moment
Mm-hmm.
and a new path happening for her. She was involved, and there's enough evidence. I see her arrested this summer, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I have the King of Swords, the leader of law, coming in to think she's done in the past this summer. And then she's going to have a new destiny. She's going to lose everything, according to this. Queen of Cups, Hermit, and the complete loss of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hermit is all about it's possibly locked up. A lot of times I see the Hermit as someone in a closet contemplating your mind. But I just do not see her making it through her whole term. I see her indicted.
Okay. I'm
You
going to
gotta
look and just quickly.
you check on it. That's what
Yeah,
comes out.
I see her getting indicted. I see that figuring out she got in the boat with the wrong people because she wasn't smart enough to see what was happening. She's in for a giant judgment. That is the judgment card, and she's going absolutely nowhere. So I would say, yeah, she's going to be. I agree with your reading. Swept up and all that.
Yeah, I mean, every time I've seriously read on her, it's always come up she was involved. The
Do you
tours or
still
whatever,
do you still
planning.
see as many as 10 people being pulled out of the House of Representatives that are
Okay.
arrested?
I see 12. They're telling me 12.
Oh, okay.
There's going to be 12 switches from
Hmm.
January 6th. Now, there could be more. You want to
There could
count
be more for other reasons we don't know
for a
yet.
reason. Someone passes, someone retires from pressure, whatever the case.
Well, who was it? Inhofe just quit because he got long-term COVID so bad he couldn't continue.
There you go.
And they're all marching around. We can't get germs. I hate to tell them, but
Decriminalize position finally begin.
decriminalization of prostitution, I think, or what we would escorts.
Yeah, got that. Yeah, there was that story that Ted Cruz gave her money to her campaign.
Yeah.
And if she was actually escorting instead, who knows? Don't want to know. But yeah, I seen that story.
Mm-hmm.
The heck, there was reporting that insurrectionists had Ted Cruz's phone number. He's got to be involved. In one way or another.
If we want to figure it out, what about Scott Perry's phone? Is it going to get released in the next month?
Okay.
His cell phone record?
Do I have? I used to have a banner
for Scott Perry.
I'll put it up again. Scott Perry. Oh, where is it?
I hate to say it, but that man looks like every middle manager I ever didn't like when I worked somewhere.
He's a bad dude.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they got to decide the old debate and speech clause stuff, and
it's a man. I mean, the judges said Scott Perry's phone. Oh dear, Mr. Perry's in for a hard ride. Oops.
Yeah, he's definitely one that's getting removed.
Right.
Or indicted, whatever the case. Yeah.
I can see the powers that be coming in to get him. It's going to prove that he was linked with the wrong people, and it's going to be the courts and the world that comes to get him. Then his future is he's in for a bit of a rough ride going through all this, and he can't get out of it. He can't just pick it up and run away. So he's trapped. And they are going to get his phone. That was a yes to getting his phone in the next month. His phone record's finally.
Well, they have his record. They can't look at it supposedly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the Six of Swords. He's going away.
Mm-hmm.
Times. Yep. He will be indicted. Oh. Then he has a tower moment for what he did for 45.
Good.
Yeah. 45 whistleblower kind of thing. Tower moment upon him. Here's him leaving the house. The Page of Cups. The Six of Swords and the complete loss of everything. So that's my card for the complete loss. It's like a major arcana card that you're done. You're done. Everything's coming upon you.
Mm-hmm.
The world's falling apart. Look at all those rickety things and broken things. He's done.
Mm-hmm.
the energy, the Page of Swords here in the beginning of my read with the Queen of Coins and Ace of Wands shows they're going to get the goods on his information. It's the energy's moving forward to get the goods. New things coming out could be resolving those issues. So yeah, Scott Perry's done. He will be done. Bye bye, Scott Perry. Unfortunately, it takes through the courts. I seen 45 is trying to use the executive privilege lawsuit against Pence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Pence is claiming debate clause. 45 is claiming executive privilege. Is that going to go all the way to Supreme Court? Because they can both just keep appealing to the Supreme Court for stays. I'll put up a quick banner. Well, here's I have a banner here for Pence's challenge. We can separate it, but are those challenges going all the way to the Supreme Court?
I'm going to see if trying to cover their stuff's going all the way to the Supreme Court. That covers both of them.
Yeah. The executive branch cover-up going all the way to the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. Because that could be settled in July, basically.
Well, the Supreme Court closes up shop in June.
Right, end of June.
They don't come again until October. So.
Okay. Mike Pence.
Well, that's shocking. I got no.
I think they don't take it up.
Yeah.
If you get that far.
Yeah, I got that far. The Hierophant's upside down. They're not going to listen to it. They're going to let it. They just think it needs to be finished. Roberts is not going to put up with too much more noise. And they know that they're just sitting there sharpening their knives to come and get some of them off the court. They're not going to get the arguments together. This guy has an unresolved problem. They think there's no balance to them taking it, and they're just going to let it go ahead. Not going to spend any more time nurturing the problem. I think they're going to say, no, we're not going to take it. They've already done that to Trump in some very key things. So Why would they change now?
Honestly, it feels like to me that the conservative court, it just feels like when I was looking at my cards in the ending, I was hearing the words, these guys basically want to wash their hands of Trump.
Right.
They're tired of this.
Well,
they got in the court, yay, they could do their thing, but they're just tired of this fight. It's like
chaos.
The chaos. They're tired of the chaos.
They should be a tarot reader if they're tired of the chaos. They should have been doing this for 5 years.
Well, when you owe people who got you there.
But the people who put them there are the rich Republican donors who want this sideshow and MAGA to go away. They want to go back to saying they're clean people.
Rumor is Clarence told 45 to go away.
And just some F blank blank K off and go away.
That's a nice way to say it, Rose. I get you. So yeah, they want him to go away.
Mm-hmm.
The King of Coins, Knight of Coins, and Ten of Wands. When I seen those three together, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, they're sick of it. They're sick of
Mm-hmm.
the former guy. They'll do the right thing with the Knight of Coins, but they're just sick of the former guy. They want to just move on, and do their actual way they want to do things and destroy institutions and whatnot. They're tired of dealing with all these frivolous challenges, basically, with him, because they decided, like you said, they decided things already for executive privilege and whatnot. So yeah, I don't think it'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
In record. Okay, yeah, I can get rid of that one.
Okay.
Okay. I know, right, Linda? We're tired of it. Oh, I got a banner. Someone didn't put it up. I remember what I wanted to read on today. I gotta create
Okay.
this.
Well,
I gotta create this quick. It's about Trump.
okay.
Supposedly at CPAC, he stated, "Even if I'm indicted, I'm still running for president.
Oh, yeah.
You can't stop me. I'll just be free and I'll still run."
He won't if he's sitting in jail,
So that was
especially if he's sitting in jail or if he's charged with attempting to overthrow the government. Then that throws in that part of the Constitution that they put in after the Civil War, that anyone who fought against our own government can't run. So,
yeah, I get all that, but we need an institution that actually does something about it, right?
well, if he's been indicted, then you will have the institution that can do anything about it.
Correct.
Okay. And you can't say, can Trump still run? Because he's running right now. But we can say, will his activities block him from being on the ballot?
That's a better choice, yeah. And kind of the wrinkle, will he even be allowed to have? I don't know. I don't see him able to get bail, kind of thing, and be able to run around for something.
Okay.
Reality Winner didn't get bail. She went to prison and never left.
Mm-hmm.
For for helping the country. Sound the alarm.
I asked if Trump was going to be blocked from being on the ballot, and I got, not right now because they don't have the grounds to do it. And he's waiting for the other shoe to drop to get past it. But 4 is their foundation. 4, the number 4 in numerology means foundations and bases. So this is not having a base. But then this is 2. This counts for 2 because it's right now. He's not, even though he thinks he's in control, he absolutely isn't. That his values are going to be looked at, and that the stars. So this is 4 yeses to him being blocked from being on the ballot by that Constitution. And you only got right now, and in the past, he's managed to slip by. But I think he won't even get on a ballot. Now, people can write him in, but it's stupid because it's a nothing. But that's fine. Go write him in. That means you're not voting for whoever the Republicans put up. So go write him in all day long. Him and Mickey Mouse.
Weird start. So I got the Knight of Wands, my Strength card, and Ace of Coins. That's a weird start to the throw. It's the institutions, positive energy, and prosperity. I'm not sure what that's telling me in this way we're posing the question. So I'll leave this to land. Maybe it'll make more sense when I look more. But that's positive universal energy, strength and courage, and then prosperity and security, good health. which doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have the Sun card, lack of energy and changes with the Page of Coins. It's either new job, new path, everything coming to light. It's success and hope, but lack of energy to create those situations. So I got that Five of Wands in the middle, which kind of cancels out in my book usually when I read these things. So the energy is there not to make it there to 2024, but there's hope there. In the end, I have bad things coming.
Mm-hmm.
The Eight of Swords, the Five of Coins, and the Six of Wands.
Oops.
Yeah, he's going to be locked up in some respect. Loss of everything.
Mm-hmm.
He won't be able to run, and victory on our side and success.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, it's either in his mind. Like I said, this throws me completely off how these great first three cards in the past position.
But he's speaking to an audience that believes that
True.
JFK Jr. is going to rise from the grave and be his running mate. So I think your first three cards are these people who live in a complete delusion.
It could be. I mean, it was in the past position.
Right. I learned years ago, if I was reading a person who had deep psychological problems and was really a psychopath, that my cards would reflect what they think. So,
I mean, the last six in my full throw made a lot of sense. The first three, I'm like, why is such prosperity and strength and courage coming up? And it does feel a little bit like that, but in those situations, it'd be nice to know if a card was actually supposed to be upside down, but
But there are people who don't read upside down, so they're kind of stuck.
Yeah, I don't unless it
just really comes out that way.
Comes out that way. Okay, 45 is not going to have a good time.
No.
And my senses show me he's in one of the cases, like Georgia, he could probably get out on bail. Federal, I don't see it happening. I see him locked up in one way or another. In an institution, a sanitarium, something like that. I hope so. They believe JFK will rise from the dead and call Harry Potter black magic. Crazy is as crazy it does. Okay.
This is a pretty straightforward question that we don't even have to reword for it to make a yes, no.
John Peg, Jack Smith's recommendations, or will he be another bar?
Okay. I'm going to take the first. Will Garland take Jack Smith's recommendations? Guys, when you phrase questions to us, you have to understand if we're doing yes, no's, we don't have a decision tree. We can't go in either or. Your cards are either yes or they're kind of no or they're bleh, nothing in the middle. But
yeah, usually that's the way it works. On a rare occasion, on a rare occasion, I may see something and feel something, but usually the direct question answer doesn't confuse the spirits or interpreting in the mind. One direct question. Garland.
Well, I have a good card for the opening. Somebody's going to be in jail.
Nice. Daddy likes justice.
They're going to move. They're not going to move swiftly. They're going to move a little more slowly. But whoever they're fighting with, it's going to be a stormy seas, a lot of time. And this is the death card. This is transition and change. It's going to be slower than we want, but we achieve our goals. Those who are working together take their time and get what they want built. So I think he's going to take Jack Smith's recommendations. It won't be the day Jack Smith puts them on his desk. Now I'm going to see if he's going to do a bar.
I pretty much got the same cards. I got the Six of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, Eight of Swords here. That's taking charge. There ain't going to be no bar with that Wheel of Fortune. People will get locked up with the Eight of Swords. That's my prison card. No, he's not going to interfere. In the past, it did happen. The Page of Wands, the complete loss again. That card's coming up a lot today. The complete destruction and loss and bad karma, broken down, tossed aside, severe debt, all that. So the Page of Wands, the complete loss, and Ace of Coins. He's not going to interfere. This is in the middle again. When I see my bad cards in the middle, that kind of cancels out the other two in a sense of prosperity. So the whistleblower, all those talking heads, they're going to lose their prosperity. Carlin is not going to stop Mr. Smith from doing whatever he needs to do. In the end, we will have victory on the former guy. Again, that Six of Wands, King of Coins, and the Ten of Coins. We will have victory on the former guy. Good. And everything that happened. Ten of Coins is all about having that abundance, everything in play, and balancing everything the way it's supposed to be. Finding the money. See, I'm not worried at all. This, and my sun card, light came out. It fell out, so I set it to the side. And the words I have on here with my sun card are all about clarity, hope, success, miracles happening, warmth, and happiness. The good side wouldn't have light, angelic hope if he was off. So no worries. You know, you always hear that word with those two. Institutionalists. You know, they will do the right thing if the information is there to indict. They will do it. You know, and Mr. Jack is, you know, I've always thought that Garland and those current DOJ working with him would have indicted 45. There was no hesitation. In my heart, I knew Garland knew this is the biggest thing ever in the United States history. And
if you don't get it right, we're really totally down the drain.
Yes. But, and he said it himself. Once 45 announced he was going to be a candidate, it was the best thing to do to indict Jack Smith. It's independent, and he started hitting the streets hard right away, even from overseas. So I have no worries about them. They're going to do the right thing. Okay. Tucker Carlson's son, Carol put down here.
Okay.
Buckley? Yeah, his name is Buckley.
Yes, after William F.
So, yeah, supposedly he was in or around January 6th. What's going on with Buckley? I think I may have read on him before. I can't remember, though. Remember his name, though.
Yeah.
So, Buckley, the insurrectionist, possibly.
I got a yes and a no. He wishes he wasn't there. He's trying to figure out a way to shield the kid. It was a really stupid move of his son to go there because Tucker knew kind of what was coming down. But his son apparently lost his job at Fox. So,
Aw,
aw,
bummer.
yeah, I know. But I think he's such low. I mean, he didn't beat up a cop and he didn't get caught with weird Nazi patches on him. So I don't think that anybody's going to go after him. But
Jack Smith is sitting with a big jigsaw puzzle. All the pieces together before he indicts. I mean, that's the way any prosecution should be. Right, Ian? You don't want to go if you ain't got it. It's the way it is. You know?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a question on here that intrigues me. How does Ronald Reagan feel about the Republican Party now?
Yeah.
I'm going to get out my From the Other Side deck and see.
Yeah, I was going to do that next, but
okay.
But I just want to throw my cards on Buckley. He's going to go through some things, you know, but I don't see any illegal stuff. He has been checked, but he's going to go through some transition, some dark times. And then there's protection there for him, so I don't think he did anything illegal.
Mm-hmm.
There's more of a talking point.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the King of Wands, the King of Wands, Queen of Wands, Page of Wands. So it feels like he's all united with his dad and, you know, the lies and whatnot. So he's more of a talking point kind of person than actual insurrectionist kind of feeling. So yeah, I'm not saying illegality, but he's going to go through some times, you know, some unprosperous times. So, yeah, I think that deserves a whole new fresh deck, not touched, to see what Ronald Reagan has to tell us today. When I looked at that earlier and started, my first impression I was getting from Ronald is the energy is that there's always changes that need to be made in life, even with parties, that it's just something they're going to have to go through. It's kind of like, I'm getting the sense that like, it's like having a child. And they got to make their own mistakes to learn from it. So that's the impression I'm getting that Reagan is showing me about the party, is that it's a baby. And it's made some mistakes, and it's got to learn from those mistakes. So that's what I was getting initially.
What I'm going to use this deck, which people always ask me, Talking to Heaven. It's James Van Prague's. I pulled one card, and this is how I read these things. And you're going to love what I got, Scott, because it's just like, sure, life is a series of choices, but he wishes they would choose love. You got to realize this is someone talking after their transition, not before. But what this reads as is love is the true nature of your soul. By making a choice for love instead of fear, you are saying yes to God. I remember in life, I would let others' opinions of me define who I was. I was never good enough to be accepted. That was because I was living in fear. But now I know how much more powerful love is. By making the right choices, you welcome abundance in every aspect of your life. I want nothing more than for you to be happy. So with every choice you make, stay true to your nature and choose love. Fear separates, love unites. From over here, I will try to remind you to always attempt to see love in all you do. That way you will live a happier and more fulfilling life on earth. So he's saying, guys, I know I got pushed around. People form my own image. I didn't do what I really needed to do. He does have regrets that he lived in fear instead of love. And his message to them was, you need to get with the agenda and learn how to love. I don't think listening to you, Ronald.
Right. I actually, if no one noticed it, I did channel Ronald Reagan's energy. and he sounded more like a Democrat from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
This was like 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and he sounded like a Democrat, and I don't really remember much of it, but from the other side, you see your mistakes, and I think he, like you were saying, he's seen the mistakes made.
Well, he actually ran the Screen Actors Guild. He ran a union, for part of his career. He was a Democrat. He became a Republican when he let other people start putting words in his mouth. So,
I mean, as a whole, he felt like a good man, but on the other side, he admits some mistakes. He had it was dementia, right, at the end.
yeah, he had dementia at the end. I met him when I was a little kid. He came to Janie Fricke's house because they built one of the first nuclear power plants near my home, and he did a commercial for GE Theater with Janie's family. They were a family of 6 kids, and her dad was a doctor. Her dad was a pediatrician, I think. Anyway, when he came to their house, we were riding our bikes around, and they said, "Oh, come meet this guy." And we just knew him from GE Theater at that point, because this is when I was a little kid. And I remember meeting him and not being repelled. Now, I shook Nixon's hand, and that was shaking the hand of a demon. But Reagan was just a guy. I mean, and I think he did have other people put words in his mouth. That's true. He did get the Iranians to hold the hostages. The Canadians had an agreement to help get them out, and they didn't let them pull the trigger. The Canadians got the Canadians out.
That's too bad.
But by that time he was drinking the Republican Kool-Aid, whatever it took to get rid of Jimmy Carter, who was, God bless him, and he's in my prayers every day now that he's in hospice. But Reagan was a puppet. He looked like he played his role. He was an actor. He played the role of a leading man.
Right.
And that's what he did.
I totally get it, lady. He did some bad things. He did some bad deeds. But as everyone talks about it. When you pass on, we as a soul entity will see our mistakes. And see who we hurt. See who we made to feel horrible. What policies didn't work, And like you said, I feel like he was the emperor puppet for others, right? Certain ways, and changed his ideals to be who the Republican Party wanted him to be. So I threw a whole spread with this deck. And I had the King of Wands, Emperor, and the 7 of Wands. And just what you said, he changed to be an emperor type of person within the Republican Party, defending values for a higher cause, an emperor, a different type of authority than to be a King of Cups, for all the people kind of feeling. And that's in the past. And the whole reading starts out with his on the other side feelings is Emperor and 7 of Coins. That's how I start out my readings, is looking top and bottom. That's the energy. So 7 of Coins is all about creation and better love energy there with that Empress. There's the love. There's the caring about other people. Creation of bills. That's what they should have done. Okay. And on the sides of the Empress is the 5 of Cups and Justice. Both tough cards to deal with when you're thinking of the Empress. The Empress is all that's good. It's all, fertility and creation. But the 5 of Cups is that loss of creation, and Justice is you didn't do enough to make everything whole in a country the way you should. kind of like Biden is doing his best to do now to make things better for the country. He
Mm-hmm.
did. He didn't. There was suffering, and he didn't do enough to balance the scales for all people. He made an authoritarian emperor system. Okay. Moving forward, I'm getting the Page of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Lovers. Creation is moving forward in the future to change the destiny for better. People having good systems, changing the bad ways with the Page of Swords, creation of new bills that are going to change the destiny for other people for the better.
Mm-hmm.
The ending: Fool, Temperance, Hangman, and Two of Coins. The Fool is taking a leap of faith, a new journey, kind of simpler times. Temperance Angel, the Hangman, Two of Coins. That's telling me the people in the system have to be removed first. Some of these Republicans are going to have to leave, is what it's telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Two of Coins is making a better system. And that's falling next to the Hangman. The Hangman is transitions, making things better. You got to move people, move systems to make things better. And it's going to take removing these people
Mm-hmm.
to make it happen. That's what he's telling me. Things will get better. He knows his mistakes. But you need a tower moment to create change.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time. So if these people that were in the insurrection, that have done wrong things, people like Santos aren't removed, nothing will change. So his energy in this throw is saying change will happen. The only way it's going to happen is if these people move.
Mm-hmm.
So if the system does not work, justice does not happen, we will have the same junk as we're seeing now. You know, we're going to have 2 years of Kevin McCarthy doing repeat Benghazi hearings for the next 2 more years. And it's going to be chaos and nothing will get done.
Mm-hmm.
We need a tower moment for change. And let's get that done. And I believe Jack Smith and Merrick Garland, just like Joe was elected, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't have Joe, nothing would have got done. All these laws that they get passed, nothing would get done.
And I don't think what Reagan did in his physical form, because that wasn't the question. The question was, how does he feel about it now? And unless you've done some mediumship work, and I don't know, Lady Lo-Fi, it's something I don't do very often, and I usually only do it using that deck. You see some amazing conversions in people when you use that deck, and at least I have found that to be the truth. What I think would be valuable is if people who followed his conservative agenda would listen to what he was saying. And he's obviously, according to that deck, and this isn't me as a Democrat reading it, I could have pulled a bunch of other cards that said I stand by everything I did. But most people can't. I couldn't. When I go across and do my life review, we may be there a while, Scott. We really might, you know? And
Yeah.
I think that's true of most of us. I want to congratulate someone named Shandy who's in our chat who says they're a Republican and they think it's funny that we laugh and call them lunatics. I think, Shandy, I think you're brave to be over here and listen to what we say. But I tell you, you ought to listen to what we're talking about your people are doing. It's not what we say about them. We're commenting on what they're doing. So
Where was that comment? I missed that.
it's up about 10:30.
Oh, that's ways up there.
Yeah, it's ways up there. I can't read cards and read the chat at the same time, but I try to keep up with it when I get a shot. Yeah, he's way
Yeah,
up there.
that's why I'm a little behind sometimes. Try to keep up with the chat, be engaged, and then try to concentrate on the throw and
We
energy.
want to see our friends like Engler here and
Yeah.
Gigi Pardo and those folks that I saw. I had an interesting session yesterday with my garden people who read the garden and take a class on Saturday to do that. And you know, they're all it's amazing. If you all are not sleeping well or you're sleeping too much, I normally don't ever suffer from sleeping too much. I wake up in the middle of the night with the little demons bouncing around my head. But now I'm having a hard time staying awake during the day, hard enough to just even keep my stuff going. And but it's this planetary change because I finally yesterday we rolled on it and we were all feeling it. And so if you're feeling a little out of sorts, it's because a whole lot of planets are moving from where they've been for as long as 20 years. And that's going to shake the ground energetically that you're standing on. But
Huh. I can't find it. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, you can be a Republican. I don't care. You just have some compassion.
no, there's another woman who's in here said, I listen to this because I'm a real conservative. I don't agree with what these other people are doing in the name of the party that I tend to support more of their background. But
Oh,
you
okay.
really can't judge someone by a D or an R.
No, that's what I grew up doing. My parents were generally Republican, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Main reason my dad told me back in the day was that, well, the milk price was higher on the Republicans generally, so that's why I vote for Republican. Better, better gifts from the government if it's bad, and
Mm-hmm.
it always trended higher milk prices when we farmed, and beef prices under Republican law rule. So he
Mm-hmm.
said I generally voted that way. So, but my own senses growing up when I started voting was I generally just, you may have watched a debate or whatever, or you always catch those
Mm-hmm.
ads. So I just generally voted for the best person. I didn't care about party growing up there. And
Mm-hmm.
then and then when I got busy with kids and whatnot, if I caught an ad, I just I didn't look at it much. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever was getting attacked the worst in ads, I voted for the other person because I always figured they were trying to hide something.
Mm-hmm.
If they're attacking hard someone else, kind of like how Ron Johnson attacked Mandela Barnes in our Senate race.
Mm-hmm.
Mandela was
Mm-hmm.
taking the high road generally. Johnson was attacking and lies. So when I was busy in life, if I seen that, I'd be like, I'm just voting for Mandela. I don't even care because you're obviously lying. So since 45, I will never look at another Republican again. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I find some goods on some Democrat, that kind of thing. But never. This is just horrible. When you get lied to constantly, enough is
Mm.
enough. Forget it.
Well, my parents were Republicans because they came over from Canada, and my dad was fiercely against socialized medicine because he was a doctor and he didn't want other people telling him what to do. Go forward one generation, one of my brothers retired from medicine early because the insurance companies were telling him what he could do. So the nightmare went both ways. But my parents were my mother was Republican Woman of the Year, and I still have the plaque that says it. And my dad were very Republican, but they had the good graces to when I became a Democrat, moving to Texas. I watched all the Republicans here become Democrats and all the people who'd run as Democrats when they were all for Jim Crow laws before they changed the civil rights. turn into Republicans. And so I've watched a complete state change. It's stripe, and I've never seen anything good come out of the ones that became Republicans. So all they do is oppress. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And until I see it's differently, thank you.
Bless you, Linda, again. Such a generous woman of love and support. Thank you, thank you. So, yeah, it's time to close up shop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull a card or two from my Oracle
Yep.
deck, see if any info, and of course I believe our Ronald Reagan tosses and energies was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the winds of change. You see things in spirit that you don't realize on Earth
Mm-hmm.
when you have those kind of goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of a sorts with Ron DeSantis. You get in power and it goes to your head and you think you can a lot worse than Mr. Reagan did.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway, I thought that was some pretty good messaging. There you go, Gigi.
Yep. He was an actor. What did you expect? Okay. My oracle card for us this week is I pulled a couple out of your deck,
Cool.
Scott.
Thank you. Bring it.
And it says, the first one I pulled was release, have a cry. And I think that that's going to be part of what the healing that's going to happen as these planets shift. We're going to be able to let a lot of emotions go that we've been holding in our guts for the last 4 or 5 years. And then it says, use sound vibrations, use music, use whatever you can to help your healing and your clearing. And then my last card is your crystal healing, which is what I do all the time. I work with crystals all the time, but it's got all the marvelous thoughts about uplifting, release vibrations, guidance, detoxify, balance your electromagnetic fields, harmony, manifestations, have your aura cleared. I mean, and there's a lot of good healers now on the stations helping people learn how to balance those energies. Yes. Look at my little stones, Scott. This is the stone that when I first bought it, it was absolutely clear. It had and none of those little inlays. Now the thing's almost getting to look like a milky quartz. Every time, I can't even imagine what's going to happen when this next shift happens. It now has 3 rainbows, legitimate rainbows in it, that were not there when I bought this 5 years ago. So just saying, guys, every time
when you use them, they will suck up that negative energy and take it away for you.
That's right.
They don't change. That's amazing. So speaking of crystals, I always love this card when it comes up because it makes me think of you and using them. Right?
I do. I look a little better than that, Scott.
I'm talking about the crystal.
Oh yeah, no, that's what they feel like.
Using the crystal, it has the power of the universe, and you have the power yourself. Ask the universe and guidance. You have it within you. You know why? Because the divine feminine has your back. All that is God, source, our soul. It's there. Just remember we're good people. Remember you have it in you. You can change. You can change your DNA with your words and your vibrations and thoughts to be comfortable and accept. You know, I get frustrated with all these lies on news. Don't like to watch it. It can really bring you down, but using your crystals and using your power and your energy, you can let things go so much easier. Earth Mama, love my stones. They speak to me.
They do. They're alive.
Yeah, they are.
they have a very much longer life cycle than we do, but they can talk to us. Did you? The couple of interesting things is one is we're really getting bombed with a lot of photonic energy right now and have been since 2017, and it's really starting to show in people's attitudes and DNA, and that's part of this change we're going to go through. The other thing is they found out that there's 5 layers to the Earth, that the inner core is really broken into um, two parts. There's a smaller inner core that they didn't think was there, but they found it by tracking earthquake vibrations through the globe. So we're redefining how the Earth is put together, which I think is interesting at this point in time. And yeah, please push the thumbs up. Hi, Cold Toes. Cold Toes was on our class yesterday.
Cool.
And she's got cold toes. She lives in Alaska. But the other thing is, 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, we had this huge solar flare, and it made the northern lights so that they could see them way into the US. And that's kind of the time that everybody started having either insomnia or they can't wake up. That was that energy coming in and hitting our system. So be aware, guys. It's what you do, what you think, but also what's coming in on us. So stay aware.
Yeah. There are times when my energy feels those solar flares.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that universal energy that gets thrusted in. I mean, it kind of, it's almost like there's a electrical field in my connection to source.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just kind of feel off a little bit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like in a full moon or whatever.
Your DNA is getting reconstructed. I can't imagine why on a cellular level you think it's getting, and it's not getting deconstructed or reconstructed in a different way. It's actually upgrading us, and it's waking up a lot of what in the US we call junk DNA. When you see DNA analysis, they can cause anxiety. It also can. It's not causing me any anxiety. I had a lot of things I should have been doing, and I was falling asleep in my chair. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want to follow it, starting the 10th, which will be before I'm with Scott again, I'm starting my 9 candles again, except this time it's 9 green candles because we're lighting up our hearts. So that will be coming up. And the first day, the 10th of March, is Danny and I are going to talk about the energy shifts I just talked about, but in more depth.
The full moon is Sunday night into Monday. Monday
today.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's this week. Yeah.
Okay.
And that really starts the march towards the equinox, which the vernal equinox, vernal if you're here, I guess it's the other way if you're in the southern hemisphere. I don't guess, I know it is. But this equinox, I don't know if you guys know this, but on the equinox, all the earth energy lines get straight. And 4 times a year that happens on our planet if you follow ley lines and earth energy. And it's really kind of a fantastic time. And that's what I want people to focus on, how to tie your energy in. And
you guys.
What?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was trying to type and I messed up.
Okay. Well, I can't type and run the screen. Yeah. BP. Okay. Yeah. Super drained of energy or feeling really wired. It's like when you're raising toddlers and they hit you on your last nerve. It's like the universe is hitting us on our last nerve.
I got an email from Cold Toes. I just wanted to put up blessings. You were talking, so I was typing.
Okay. Yeah, Cold Toes is a sweetie. And she was talking. She said the northern lights up where she lived were absolutely fascinating during that solar.
I bet it was. So my apologies because I was typing and reading quick. When you starting?
It starts the 10th of March, and
Okay.
it goes until the 20th, which is when the equinox happens. And you don't have to burn the same color candles. You can burn any candle. This is like a free for all, but because Danny and I took some of our inspiration for when I was putting this together from a card he drew that's a cactus that says resourcefulness, I found the most incredible little candles to burn for the candles. Ooh, if I can pull it up here. I had them out yesterday. Here they are. They're little cactuses. See, they're little cactuses. Can you see?
Oh, cute.
And green, green is a good color. Pink's a good color for this one because we're going to focus in on the heart, but you can focus in on whatever you want. And also, if you are a member of a subscriber to my channel, you will get reminders and reminders and reminders. And I run shows for 9 days in a row. This year, though, I'm going to give myself a break. I'm pre-taping them so that I don't die trying to get everybody. You guys have no idea when you don't know if someone is going to have the power to get in and whatever. We actually had a power outage for the first time since I've lived where I live. We had 80-mile-an-hour winds go down our road. We had that squall line came through. I've never heard the wind sound like that. Not even, it sounded like a 747 was taken off in my driveway. And that went on for about 5 minutes, and then the lights went out. And they stayed out.
I was wondering about that. I texted you. I got a notification that 60, 80-mile-an-hour winds in Dallas, and I immediately texted you. I hope you're okay.
Yeah. I was trying to save my phones because I didn't know when they'd come back. I actually have a little backup pack battery that I can use to charge my phones, but it was interesting. And the thing is, when they come through, when the squall lines hit that hard, the rain goes over you really quickly. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm putting you to sleep. Poetic justice in my chair. Yes. Well, maybe that's the sign for us to quit talking because we're putting them to sleep.
What Jeff was saying earlier, he's been feeling off energy and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the best thing to try to get back to a better energy, grab a crystal or grab your cards, whatever you want to do. Just sit down on your couch, drink some good water, and just imagine. Or take a walk out in nature if you can, if it's not too cold or whatever. But
it's going to be 80 here today. I'm going to go out and visit my ley line.
Well, Jeff's in the north, so.
Oh, well, no barefoot for you, Jeff. I can go out barefoot.
So yeah, we're going to have 2 weeks of, I think the high is 38.
Oh.
So it's going to be a little chill yet.
Well, we've got.
Puxatawny Hill is correct.
We've got 80s, and then it'll be 70s, and then after this weekend, going into the week, it drops like a rock, and we end up in the upper 30s during the night and back up maybe into the 50s, which is like to y'all is spring. It's not spring down here.
No, I'm sorry, Gigi.
Yeah, somebody just commented. Linda G went in the emergency room today with that inner ear thing. Her ears are ringing too.
Oh, what? Vertigo again?
Yeah. She has an inner ear thing. They think they have. My ringing in my ears is constant, but it's because they found the nerve that had a stroke happen over it 45 years ago when I was giving birth. My blood pressure went off the roof. They couldn't figure out why I didn't have a stroke. Well, I had a teeny tiny little infarction against a nerve, and it just stayed dormant for years. And then when I had an anesthesia, it woke it up, and there's nothing they could do except to go in the center of my brain and kill it. And I'm not letting them cut into my head. The ringing's not that bad. And I don't get vertigo. I mean, I've had vertigo, but I don't get it from that. So if I had vertigo, I'd have to do something about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about it before. I got constant ringing in my ears, but generally it's low enough I tune it out, but certain times, universal energies, it's just intense.
Yeah, the last few nights I've had to find an 8-hour book to put under my pillow and put it at a low enough so that I can listen to it if I want to. I'm learning a whole lot about things because I learn at night when I do that, but I don't sleep as well as I should.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly. Those air rings, it's annoying.
It
I've tried
is.
numerous things, tricks and vitamins and whatever. Nothing changes.
No.
But what I like to do also in the full moons, I also get a gallon of pure water and I
Hmm.
set that out overnight. You know,
Yeah.
and that and then all month I drink my vitamins with the moon water.
Oh, that's lovely. I don't set anything out at night. It will get disappeared, I think.
Oh, we have a deck out back, and it catches
Oh,
all the moon.
you live in a house. I live in
Yeah,
a condo.
yeah. We live in a house with a little quarter acre. Yeah.
Hmm. That's quarter acres, a big piece of land in Texas.
I'm
It is
sure.
mostly because nobody wants to mow a lawn that big.
He's pack them in, right? So
Anyway,
anyway, have a beautiful Sunday. Thank you everyone for joining us. It's been lovely to chat. All your comments. Oh, Gigi says yes, it works. Remember the full moon Tuesday? Put out your
hmm.
stuff. Yeah, cold toast. Good point. I'll end up with frozen water. But hey,
True.
but then you don't have to. Then you're good to go.
Just chip
You
a
just
little bit off, throw it in the glass, it'll thaw out.
let it freeze, bring it back in on your counter, and you got it all month. It's still gonna stay cold.
Anyway, thank you all for coming and being here with us. And I'll see you. I hope I'll see a bunch of you there on the 10th.
Yep.
And
Are
then,
you doing them as premieres again?
yep,
That's the best way to do it.
yep.
Record them, set them all up in order as premieres at every day, and
Hmm.
it's a great way to do it.
Yep.
All right. Blessings,
Okay. Talk to
everyone.
you
Thank
later.
you. Bye.
Bye.